Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. The holiday season is underway. The most wonderful time of the year. And just for the occasion, I wore for this review Christmas colors. Yeah, that's the best I can do for this cold open. Get off my ass. Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, that's right, welcome to yet another brand new movie review. And what better way to kick off the holiday season by taking a look at Happiest season. That's right, this movie's on Hulu right now. It's directed by Clea DuVall and it stars Kristen, Stewart, and Mackenzie Davis. And I watched it. Let's talk about it. Kristen Stewart in this movie plays a young woman named Abby who's got a plan to propose to her girlfriend Harper, played by Mackenzie Davis, while spending the Christmas holiday at Harper's family's house. But Abby soon discovers that Harper hasn't yet come out to her conservative parents. So this premise almost feels like a modern holiday version of Meet the Parents. One of my favorite comedies, honestly. That piece is just hysterical. And one of the biggest things that this film has going for it is that premise. It's very socially relevant. I love the representation that this film has going for it, with not just this premise, but also with the casting. Kristen Stewart is, I believe, one of the most underrated actresses working today, and she turns in a very sweet, very strong performance here. As does Mackenzie Davis, who I will admit I was surprised by. Yeah, I'm so used to seeing her in a movie like Terminator Dark Fate, where she's just kicking ass all over the place. And I'm very glad that Davis gets to explore her range here, and I think she and Stewart have really great chemistry together, and it's a really sweet relationship also. You know who stole the show for me, though? There's only one answer to this question. It's Dan Levy. Of course, most famous for being David in Schitt's Creek, which, by the way, I just reviewed season 1 right here on the channel, just saying. You know, you can watch it. Watch everything. But point being, Levy is absolutely hilarious here. Alls I'll say without spoiling too much is that there's a subplot involving him and Kristen Stewart's character's fish tank. I don't know why, but those parts always had me in stitches. I also think this is a very nicely directed film by Clea DuVall, and it does get you into the holiday spirit because there are some really nice, almost soothing shots just looking down a quiet street filled with Christmas lights. You know, there's a reason why this is the most joyous time of the year, but in my personal opinion, Happiest season is not perfect. You know, as amazing as it is to have this representation present, and combined with the fact that there are some good performances sprinkled throughout, the entire product just feels so shallow to me when I feel like there's so much more deep stuff that they could have explored. And I think the screenplay is one of those key factors as to why that is. Not only is it riddled with cheesy cliches all over the place, but the majority of this dialogue to me feels very much on the nose, with no subtext to be had underneath. It's almost like, the more I think about it, after the movie ended, the more I could recall certain instances where Stewart and Davis were just talking to each other. And it's almost as if the characters knew that the audience was with them the whole time. Now, if these characters were just breaking the fourth wall, or, you know, they just had a super meta theatrical premise to go along with this dialogue like this over here, then I would give it a pass. But they're talking to each other like any normal couple. And trust me when I say this, any couple, I don't care who it is, you cannot find a single couple that will talk to each other like these two do. Also, just gonna say right now, off the cuff, Harper's family is horrid. The performances are just fine, but these are some of the most shallow, horrific caricatures of human beings I've ever seen in my life. Maybe that was the whole idea, but, I mean, how do I put this? Take the patriarch, played by Victor Garber, for example. He's a politician running for mayor, and that's really all we know about him. We don't know anything about his politics, we don't really know anything about his home life, and we don't even really know why he's into politics. We're just supposed to assume, based off of the premise, what his politics are. And I'm sorry, that's a serious flaw. Now, I don't mean this in the political sense, of course, but a lot of this film just feels extremely forced. And you want to talk about forced? Good lord. Let's talk about that point of no return, shall we? You guys know what I'm talking about. The point of no return. It's the instigation of that climax. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, of course, with this review, but Harper's older sister Sloane does something to her at the party that is just absolutely damning. Now, I am very grateful that I have so many LGBTQ friends throughout my life. I'm grateful to know a whole bunch of them. They are extremely talented, and I'm glad to have them as friends. And I gotta tell you, if someone ever did something to those friends to the extent of what Sloane does to Harper, I would want to slap that person across the face because that is just downright wrong. I don't mean to get so heated, but if you watch this movie and you see what Sloane does, you'll know what I'm talking about. Trust me. And that gets me to where this film really makes me upset. Despite what Sloane did, the movie, the screenplay, and the characters are all very fast to forgive her. I mean, there's no punishment really for what she does to Harper, even though she should be punished. She should be cut out of this family's life. It's just so horrendously rushed and sloppily forced. It really just does not feel like real life at all. Now, I do realize that there are tons of people that dig the crap out of Happiest season, and you know what? That's totally fine. There are some solid performances in here, especially from Dan Levy, but I think there's more substance to be had with some of the other holiday classics. I'm gonna give Happiest season a C+. This movie is salvaged by a couple of really strong performances and a really sweet main relationship. I was honestly considering giving this a straight up C, but given how much I enjoyed watching Dan Levy, seriously, I could watch him banter for hours. And the movie also does have a pretty sweet ending to it, but the more and more I think about it, there's just almost no substance with this. And that's a shame because this premise is really sweet. And I love this representation. But it just felt like there was a lot that was left over on the cutting room floor that shouldn't have been left over. Sometimes it's not just simply about the premise, but it's also about what the characters within the movie do with said premise. It's on Hulu right now. Maybe you guys will like this film more than I did. Have you guys seen Happiest season? Do you enjoy it? Do you not? I'd love to discuss this film further with you guys down in the comments section below. If you guys are enjoying this content and you guys want to continue discussing all things entertainment with me over here, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you're new down below as hard as you possibly can, so that way you guys can stay in the loop anytime I upload a new video on here. And if you guys enjoy this review also, please be sure to leave a thumbs up on it. I'd really appreciate that. As always, look out for more exciting content hitting the channel very soon, including my continuation of the David Fincher series. And after that wraps up, I'm happy to announce that over the week of Christmas, I'm going to be reviewing 5 of my favorite holiday classics. And real quick, just to clear the air about something, if anybody's at all wondering where Die Hard is going to be on that playlist, well, I'm just going to say lower your expectations. It's going to be nowhere on that playlist because it's not a Christmas movie. But jokes aside, you guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for your support of the channel so far. Look out for more exciting content hitting the channel very soon. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.